What are the signs that you have burnout, and how can you prevent them so you don't have to suffer through this experience? Well, the second part of this video is going to be focused on people with ADHD because they handle the world a little bit differently. The first part of this video, the signs of burnout, relate to everybody. And yes, if you have ADHD, you are more likely to have burnout more frequently and more severely because the symptoms of ADHD itself amplify the experience of burnout. But no matter who you are, this video can help you to spot that you're on your way to a burnout. Imagine this. You are feeling a storm of emotions. And that storm never seems to settle. You wake up, and from the moment you start your day, this cloud of irritability seems to follow you everywhere. Even the tiniest setback seems to be too heavy, too much. You may find yourself feeling emotionally drained, as if you have been running on empty, with a sense of detachment and numbness that sleep alone just cannot fix. And on top of that, sometimes you may feel those waves of anxiety and hopelessness that are just crashing all over you, making it impossible for you to feel joy from the things you once loved. And then there's this little lingering feeling or voice inside your head that are telling you you are failing, the guilt, the shame, and this emotional overload may make you pull away from friends and cry over things that normally wouldn't upset you that much. This is an emotional early sign of burnout. When it comes to your thoughts and actions, you may experience something like mental fog. And in that moment, even the simplest task feels like enormous thing to do. Things that used to come naturally to you now feel crazy difficult. You may really hit a wall where starting or finishing any task is just impossible. And the more you try to push, the more your brain seems to shut down. You experience memory lapses, difficulty organizing things, and any decision making freaks you out so much that you just feel paralyzed, incapable to decide what to do, and even if you once decide to do it, to execute it. And this can trap you in a cycle where forgotten obligations or missed deadlines build up even more stress, making it even harder to focus and get anything done. Those are your cognitive and behavioral signs that you're approaching a state of burnout. Then, of course, it's your own body sending you signals that something isn't right. You may be dealing with constant, deeply seated fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to cure. Your body feels weak, as if any challenge is just too much to bear. You may also be experiencing frequent headaches, aches in your body, stomach issues, increased appetite, or complete loss of appetite. And all of those physical signs are your body's way to say it's overwhelmed and it needs attention. This isn't just in your head, it's a full body experience caused by all the stress that you're carrying. And understanding those signs is your very first step towards doing something about it. You cannot solve a problem you don't even recognize you have or you don't understand at all. So how to manage and prevent burnout in your life? First is to build self-awareness. As I said, a problem you don't even see, you can never solve. You need to be aware of those signs so that you can recognize them in the first place before you're even able to react. And yes, of course, second is action, to use strategies and recommendations that can either prevent burnout or at the very least mitigate its effects. Setting realistic goals and boundaries. It's something that probably sounds very annoying and boring to you, but it is important, especially if you have ADHD, because I know your hyperactivity makes you excited about every brilliant idea that you have. Every new project is something to die for and you really want to jump into everything. You struggle to say no. You are excited once your dopamine finally hitting your prefrontal cortex, and you don't want to put any boundaries because you're enjoying the fact that you're finally functioning. You don't want to lose the momentum and you want to do everything all at once. I get it. But it's exhausting you. So a trick I'm using is I kind of try to sleep on it. If I have a brilliant new idea, I give myself 3 to 4 days before I act on it. And then, if I still want to do it, I sit down, look at my already existing schedule and commitments, and I think, how can I make room for this new thing? I know it sounds easier said than done, but once you do it a couple of times, I guarantee you it becomes a little bit more natural and easier to think about this and to plan for it. And in case that you no longer care about that thing, remember, it is okay to say no or to delegate to others. I know as an ADHD person, you're very empathetic, very sensitive, you don't want to disappoint anybody, but if you don't take care of yourself, you will eventually get into a burnout where you cannot do anything at all. So we're trying to avoid this, right? Set boundaries. Practice pacing and taking breaks. Hyperfocus or high stress, because we actually run on adrenaline and we love sometimes stress because it makes us more aware, more awake, and kind of like more functioning. Yeah, okay, but this also makes you forget to eat, to drink, to rest, to call your friends. You forget the world around you and it's only that thing in front of you that exists. And at some point, it may not even be the right thing. Because remember, ADHD is not about attention deficit, it's attention dysregulation. You have attention, but you cannot channel it. You cannot say where, for how long, and on what you're actually going to pay attention. And if you don't learn to pace yourself and take breaks, those 30 minutes of a break that you skipped after a while are gonna cost you at least 30 hours of being incapable to do anything at all. So invest in those 30 minutes, it will pay off. For example, I like to put timers on my phone to track how long I spend on something. Or I even set alarms, like a reality check, to see whether I'm working and being focused on the right thing or not. And I know some people, by just the thought of their hyperfocus being interrupted, kind of freak out. But because I'm so used to this, at this point is expected. I know the alarm will go off, so it doesn't bother me. But it really helps me with that reality check to stay on track, to remember to get some water, to remember to get some little break, go bother my cat if I want to, but really prevent myself from burning out. And finally, when I'm really trying to be productive and I know I'm having a lot of things on my to-do list, I actually schedule my social time. Otherwise, I'm not gonna meet or talk to anybody. I'm gonna overload myself. I'm gonna overcommit. I'm gonna get a lot of things done in 2 weeks. And then for 2 months, I'm gonna be nearly incapable to get anything done. And this 0 to 100, it's very tasty for people with ADHD, I get it, but it's freaking exhausting. And this is the burnout cycle. This is why burnout ADHD is so much more frequent, because you love the extremes. But because ADHD burnout is also more severe, your body and your mind are paying for that little joy of running on extremes. Prioritizing sleep and healthy routines is just another way to say that if you don't take care of your body, it will eventually force you to stop. And one of the best self-care routines that you can give to yourself is sleep. Adequate, quality sleep. Have a sleeping schedule, and when you happen to deviate from it, just take it as an exception. I understand that people with ADHD, when they see one night when they went to sleep too late or they woke up too late, they see it as a sign that they're incapable of having a sleeping routine. It's all and done. They just don't want to do anything anymore because they failed. Yeah, that's your instinct at first, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's okay. Sometimes you're gonna fail. Just try tomorrow again. And you can help yourself by creating pre-bedtime routines. Decrease your screen time. Decrease the light in your house. Try some of those sleepy teas. I have like 10 different flavors of them. They really actually help. I believe they help me, so they help me. Try to read, you know how boring that can be. It can really make you sleepy. And really, it helps a lot to wake up at the same time, even on the weekends, versus trying to go to sleep at the same time. It kind of brings some balance. You're not perfect, but you're still within a sleeping routine. Of course, maintaining some exercise will also help you, especially to burn off that extra energy, which would decrease your hyperactivity and will help you actually rest, because I know as an ADHD person, you don't feel comfortable just sitting and doing nothing. You feel guilty. Exercise, that's gonna burn off the extra energy. And I'm not talking about doing much. Sometimes I don't leave the house. I just put something on my YouTube, watch 30 minutes of comfortable workout that just makes me feel like I'm moving my butt, but I'm not really doing much, yet it is so much more useful and helpful than nothing. And all of those things together will help you rest, and it will decrease the chaos in your head, and it will prevent you from falling down into a burnout. Improving your time management and organization is as simple as use ADHD-friendly tools like visual reminders, colorful schedules, timers. Just use external help. Do not rely on your brain for everything. This is to think and maybe sometimes to make decisions. It's not to remember. It's not to do everything for you. We have so many gadgets. We have AI. Use it. And I know it takes time to find the right tool for you, but the time you spend looking for the right tool is so much less than the time you spend being burnout, demotivated, and feeling like shit. So please do yourself a favor and use some external tools to decrease the cognitive demand, because you're already, as an ADHD person, struggling with executive functions. Decrease the demand so that you can feel less overwhelmed. Another way to prevent burnout is to develop emotional coping skills. Since emotional stress is a big part of ADHD burnout, learning how not to let your emotions run the show for you, or at least putting them into some sort of boundaries, can help tremendously. How can you achieve this? Well, I know it sounds boring, but meditation can really help. And I know if you have ADHD, you are not likely to sit in the lotus pose. Take a walk. It's really nice to just be outside, away from your screen, maybe have some sound, some music on, maybe not, and just try to pay attention to your surroundings, to the grass, to the rocks, to the trees, to the sky, to the buildings, whatever. Just pay attention to what's around you so that you are staying in the present moment. And something that I like to use when I don't want to leave the house because it's raining and it's cold, I like to have a candle in front of me, because the flames, the movement of the flames somehow helps me stay in the present moment. It helps me be a little bit more grounded. Try it out, experiment. But there is a way for meditation to work for you. You just have to use your creativity. Second thing to calm your emotions is, of course, deep breathing. Yeah, I know it sounds boring, but actually it calms down your nervous system, whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not. It's just biological. It really helps. Most people just don't do it more than 3 times, and that's why they're not benefiting from it. So repeat the inhale and the exhale for like 10 times, and you're gonna feel the difference. Another ways, of course, are to use yoga or simple stretching. The main point here is to calm your nervous system, bring some peace to your head. Learn to be a little bit less reactive so that your anger or frustration or your anxiety, your strong emotions are not wearing you down all the time. Some people also benefit from journaling their emotions in order to process them a little bit better, to increase their emotional regulation. Again, be creative. You will find a way for sure. And once you find it, you benefit from it probably for a lifetime. And if you're finding this video helpful and you would like to support me, I'm gonna leave the link to my Patreon in the description box. If you don't want to or you cannot, that's okay. A like and a comment will also help me a lot, because it's gonna help the algorithm show this video to more people. And that's the whole idea, more people to see this and more people to benefit from it, because way too many people are struggling. So share, like, do whatever you would like and feel comfortable for yourself. And let's now continue with the video. Seeking support and accommodation can be extremely difficult. I get it. Asking for help, difficult. But if you don't communicate your needs to supportive people, they may not notice that you need anything. First, because people with ADHD are very good at masking. And second, because everybody is busy and everybody is busy pretending that they're okay. So we kind of create this bubble for ourselves, this delusion that we are not okay, but everybody around us is okay. So we're the problem. And, thankfully it has gotten a lot better recently, but I'm encouraging you to speak up when you're not okay, because you'll be surprised how much people are actually willing to help. For example, at work, maybe you can negotiate some flexible schedule. With your friends, maybe you can negotiate some quality time together. Or maybe something as simple as buying noise cancelling headphones can help your workspace, or being outside if you live in a crazy crowded area. Or maybe by talking to your friends, you're gonna get another piece of advice that will help you. You never know what you can receive before you ask. And reminding yourself that there are people around you that are willing to support you in itself will reduce your stress. Implementing all those strategies can significantly reduce your risk of burnout. But none of it can happen if you don't notice the signs first. So self-awareness is really key. Recognizing the early signs, the fatigue, the easy irritability, the sleeping focus that is worse than ever. This is where everything starts. But it doesn't need to end as usual. You can break that burnout cycle. And remember that recovering or preventing burnout cycles is a process, because you are used to that pattern. You're used to going into it in and out. And it's gonna take some time before it's something from your past. And even then it may come back every now and then, but if you reduce the frequency, that in itself is already progress. And if you haven't seen yet my other video on ADHD and burnout and why they're such best friends, I'm gonna leave the link somewhere here. Hopefully that's gonna be also helpful for you. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.